Alright, ladies and gents, homework. I want to do a quick video on homework just because I'm sorry I won't be at school tomorrow on Friday, and I will miss you guys, so I want to briefly talk through the homework. Okay, I have the answer key right in front of me here, so I'm going to briefly talk about especially the problems that you don't have to understand, but also the ones that you do. So, if you notice here, any problems with a star and that red writing around it, don't worry if you don't understand. Alright, those are the ones that are my bad. I didn't make this key before I gave you the homework, and I didn't notice that there were things that you didn't necessarily know how to do, or you did know how to do, but you shouldn't have to. So, do not worry if you do not understand. Okay? Problems like this first problem, or the second, are ones that you should know how to do. You should understand how to do those pretty easily. They're just proportions, multiply straight. You can cross multiply, you can multiply by the least common denominator, things like that you should be able to do. Okay? If you have any questions about those ones, you should definitely approach a teacher and ask about them during class. Ones that you don't necessarily need to know how to do. One of those is number 3. Alright, you get to this point and you get an x squared. Whenever you get an x squared minus and you have more x's, you guys know how to solve these. You may not remember, or you may not make that connection, but you really do know how. You can use the quadratic formula. Right there. So I didn't go through and I didn't solve it all the way through because this isn't going to give you a perfect number. Otherwise, you'd be able to factor. But that is what you would go forwards with if you were to continue trying to solve for x for that one. Okay. Other ones, number 4. Okay. Same idea. You get through and then you get to this part where you have an x squared and you have another x. So how do you solve for a problem like that? You go back to the things that we have been learning. Factoring, solving by completing the square, solving with the quadratic formula, things like that. Here, this is actually factorable, so you are going to get 2 answers for x. Okay, but no, you are not expected to know that. Just in case you were wondering. This one here, alright, when you multiply across, it seems real simple, but you get a 4z squared equals a 25. And I noticed right away that those are both perfect roots, so I wanted to get them both on the same side. So I did. And I noticed that, look at that, it's a special case. So I factored, and I solved. Okay. This one's just kind of a mess, and I stopped halfway through because I didn't want to confuse you guys or confuse myself even. Alright, so this is what I did up to this point. Okay, I divided, so I multiplied by the reciprocal, canceling out things. This is all stuff that you should be able to do. The red wavy lines are things that you don't necessarily have to know how to do. Alright, then I multiplied across, and I got this, and then I multiplied crossways to get that. And from there, it gets a little crazy, and you don't have to know it. Okay? Alright, and number 6, the last crazy one. Alright, we've got a division again, so I multiplied by the reciprocal. Alright, so multiplying straight across and canceling those 4's, I just have a plain old 1 on top and an x squared on bottom. Alright, so in order for me to get what I want, I'm going to multiply crossways. So x squared times x gives me that x to the third, that 2. You only can get rid of x to the thirds by doing the third roots. So I did the third root of 2. Should give you that x. Alright, and the stuff in the red again is the stuff that you don't necessarily need to worry about. Alright, so those of you that are paying attention to BB9 and will see this video, it'll help you to be able to see those little extra things. If you have questions on the basics, on the stuff that you should know how to do, that's something you need to ask during class, or ask after class, before school, after school. That's the stuff you have to ask about, because that's the stuff you definitely need to know. Alright. Thanks, guys.